Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to Reggie's Recess, where you get real talk about real relationships. Of course, I am your host, C. Reggie Rogers, renowned relationship coach, singles empowerment coach, author, talk show host, radio show host, and of course, I'm your podcast host. Every week, we do our best to provide you with the best guests, the most provocative topics, and we go live. So sometimes we encounter things when we go live, but it's all good and we have fun while we're doing it. And this month we are talking about dating, the dating process to eventually get to the May flowers, because we've come out of the April showers and now we're all about glee, being jovial, being happy, excited, ecstatic. We want the May flowers, but we always have those spring flings, and so there should be some type of method in regards to when we meet. So, dating is tricky. There are all sorts of unspoken rules about what it means to be casually dating, exclusively dating, or in a relationship, which can make it unnecessarily confusing for figuring out where you and your potential partner stand. So deciding how to determine or define the relationship requires answers. This month, we've been talking about the dating process, and we want to ultimately get them to those flowers. Today, I've got a great guest who is lined up. She's ready to go. She's got all of her bullets in the chamber. She's going to come out firing. Today, my guest is none other than Dr. Yolanda Gamble. Look at her. She's ready. Watch out, you guys. So when we come back after this commercial, we're going to hear from my guest, Dr. Yolanda Gamble.
I am Ernest L. Thomas from the Waldens, and you need to download the Win Network app now, or else it's gonna be tragic. Tragic!
If you have not downloaded the Win Network, you need to do so. Listen, here it is, the Win Network. You got to download the Win Network. I come on the Win Network Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch Reggie's Recess, Real Talk, Real Relationships every Monday through Friday on the Win Network. Simply go to www.win, WINNETWORK, Win Network. There it is right there. Go to the winnetwork.com, download the app. You can see free movies, free talk shows, free seminars, things that are empowering. Make sure you add the Win Network to your itinerary. Get it done if you haven't done it yet. So today I've got a great guest. My guest is Dr. Yolanda Gamble, and I want to introduce to some and present to others Dr. Gamble. She is the founder of Sure Ministries Incorporated in Dallas, Texas. You know, they say they do everything bigger in Texas. So she's going to be ready to go. They doing it big. She's a life strategist. She's a catalyst for solutions, global change agent. Her reach extends across the world through international missions and partnerships. She designs programs and provides resources that change the trajectory of individual lives and communities. So she encourages mankind to achieve their greatest capacity and to fulfill their ultimate purpose of being. She offers both spiritual and natural solutions. I told you they do everything big in Texas. We got her. Dr. Yolanda Gamble, what's happening?
Oh, hi, Reggie. It's so good to be on your show, to join you on your show on Reggie's Recess. Wow, this is big. This is huge.
No, it's huge because I got
I'm
you.
happy.
The only reason
Thank
it's
you
huge
so
is
much.
because I got you. That's why it's huge. It got bigger the moment we put you live. That's when it got bigger. It was a small show up until now. We big now because I got you. I got you. That's why we big now.
You
having
know,
a good week? Are you having a good week?
it's going very well. It's going very well, and of course, to be on your show in the middle of the week is just awesome. You know, kind of breaks up the week a little bit. And so I'm really looking forward to this topic today. Yes, and you're so interesting. I've been following you for a while now. Yes, for a few
I'm
months.
interesting. Ooh.
Yes, you're very
You see, you
interesting.
listen,
Yeah,
you touching my heart right now. You making me feel good. I'm
yeah,
interesting.
you're
I like the
interesting.
sound of that.
Well, I like unique people. You don't blend in very so much, and I like unique people, and
you know,
so I've been really paying attention to that.
well, thank you. You know, that's one of my first questions. And I teach people when because they always ask me, what questions should you ask when you meet someone? And this has a lot
Yeah.
to do with the dating process. One of the first
Yes.
questions that I tell someone to ask is, so what makes you unique?
Oh,
that just
wow.
that just opens up a grand conversation because you're putting the person in a position to now think. They have to think what makes them unique, and then it's putting you in a position to determine or to decipher based off of what they're saying. You can see already if it's a fit.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. I can be very descriptive about a person. I like to sit in front of someone and just describe what I see in them. I think we should be more, we should compliment more,
Yeah,
and we should tell people what we do see that is unique about them instead of just trying to be vague and surface and careful. Just go ahead and just say how you feel and what you see and about that person, kind of helps to blend that relationship. Yeah.
I like it. I looked at a post. One of my close, well, actually, we do a segment at the end of the month. It's called Dr. Sophie Speaks. She comes on at the end of the month with me, and she put a post out the day before yesterday that I loved. It was so simple, but it was simply profound that it was profoundly simple. And all it said was, just be.
Just be. Wow.
Just be. Because
I like that.
we are always, Dr. Gamble, we are always in the process of becoming. We are
Right.
always evolving. So when
Yes.
she said that, just be, if you just be, it just means just simply be who you are, be the best you. Nobody can beat you being you. So just be. And
Yes.
don't try to be someone else. Don't try to do what someone
Exactly.
else is doing. Just be you.
That's right. I was just talking with my sister just the other day, and we had just met a young lady who my nephew is interested in. And I was just saying, one thing that's very, very important is that the person is not measuring themselves with the people that they meet, measuring themselves by the people that they meet. But just be yourself so that we all can get to know you very well, right? So I like
Mm-hmm.
what you saying, Dr. Sophie said. Yes, we have to just be who we are, and that's just it. I like just being very plain and organic. And I think for the first time that we met, just some months or so ago, I was just you said I like your cheerful stuff. Well, that's kind of how I am. I'm positive. I'm always positive. If there's something negative, I don't care if it's someone just died or grieving, whatever. I'm going to find something positive about it. It's just true of my nature, right? So, and
Yeah.
it's just about feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And you
I
know
know
what I
you.
just
I know you're smarter than I am, so that's all right. I just look better when I'm around you.
Oh, stop it. You know what I discovered? You know what I discovered, Doc? Here's what I discovered. Nobody will ever beat you being you.
No, you're right. You're right.
No
Yeah.
one will ever and right now like you just elevated my frequency. My frequency level is elevated because nobody can beat you being you, Doc. I'm
That's
just
right. I'm just
elevating my
me.
frequency now because I'm with you. So
Yes, right.
it's awesome. I want to talk about this dating process. We've been playing with it here uh in our opening here for the on our opening minutes that we've been talking, giving little trinkets here and there about the dating process, asking people what make them unique, just being you, all of that. All that's a part of the dating process. But I want to ask you a couple of questions here so we can get this ball rolling. My first question to you is what do you think about modern day dating?
Well, I have to admit, I didn't start dating again until after 50. So I'm in
Wait,
my
stop. Time
50s.
out.
I'm,
Time
I'm
out.
not
Time
going
out.
to
Stop.
tell
Stop. Stop.
people how
Stop.
old
Stop.
I am.
Stop. I need you to stop right now. First of all, nobody in our list, nobody in our audience is gonna ever believe you're over 50. That's number one. I don't even believe you're over 50. So
It
you
is
could
the truth.
I need you to just be right now. Right now, you're not being you because I don't
I'm
think you're being honest
being
with
me.
me. You're not over
I'm
50. You're
totally
not
being
over 50.
honest. I really honestly, I started dating again after 50. And at that time in my life, of course, before 50, I was very focused on my career. And when I came into my 50s, I was still very focused on my career. I have a nonprofit organization, as you all could have read. Uh, and so one day I was riding the car with my mother, and my mother says, Yolanda, I was praying for you, girl. I said, okay, here we go. And she said, I think it's time for you to open up your heart and meet someone. It's time for you to meet someone. And I said, really? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, Mom, I tell you what, I'm going to think about that and I'll pray about it. And then you know what? I trust my mother. I do. I trust her instincts and things. And so I did open up my heart for dating. And but the experience was surprising to me because I'm a little back in the day. I don't like to say old school. I feel like that ages us too much, but I'm a little bit more back in the day when it came to dating, and it just seems like it was a recipe. Like I needed a recipe to understand. Are we? Uh, do we just like each other? Uh, are we dating? Is it exclusive? It's not exclusive. It's so many different things. I was like, oh my God, it was confusing because to me, I'm so used to the man, the man approaching me and showing up, telling me I like you, sending a note, or something like that. And I'm like, uh, what is this texting? I think I like you.
He not sending you
Okay,
a
what do I
listen,
do
he's
with
not
that?
sending you a paper note now. He's sending you a text now.
It's a text. I'm like, okay, what do I do with that? And I'm going to tell you the honest God truth. I went online to YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. And everybody that was doing their videos of dating coaching and advising and everything, I started studying and listening to people because I was trying to get used to this new virtual culture, of meeting a person and that there was more texting than there was talking. And so this whole thing threw me for a loop. I'm better now because I have acquiesced to, this new culture. But at first, it was shocking to me. I didn't know how to fit.
It can be, and this is one word that I threw out of my vocabulary about 5 years ago. I don't use this word, but it's befitting right now, because
Hmm.
typically the word has a negative connotation when you make it personal, and I'm not making it personal. I'm going to use it as a universal word, but it can be extremely overwhelming. The
Yes.
process now could be extremely overwhelming. So I don't use that word when I say something like I'm overwhelmed. I hear people say that's well, you don't hear me say that. But the process now, because I'm using it in a universal manner, could be extremely overwhelming. The dating can make or break you. But the challenge
Yeah.
is really, how do you figure out who resonates with your spirit?
Well, first of all, I'm a touchy, huggy feeling person.
Okay.
That's true of my nature.
Okay.
And so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to listen to that person. If it's just by phone, I'm going to listen to that person and I'm going to listen deeply. And then I have an instinct that I can feel whether or not that person's really real or truthful or there's something or whatever, So I use my instincts. I use my natural instincts to see if that is really a legit relationship or person who is telling
Okay.
me the truth about themselves. Yeah.
Some people call it that they call themselves in this modern day, since we're talking about the modern day now, and we're talking about terminologies that people use in the modern day. For example, texting sometimes instead of talking. But even in the modern day, you're saying your instinct. With the modern day, people call it they call themselves empaths, or they call themselves very intuitive. So would you
Hmm.
say that? Would you say that you are very intuitive in terms of when you talk about the instinct moving in regards to your instinct? Do you feel like you have good intuition?
I feel like I have good intuition because I study people. I take the time to listen, I take the time to study. And so that just kind of heightens, that intuition because I'm interested. First of all, you got to be interested. And I get out of all of the imagination and the fantasy and all of that. And I just allow that person to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And we approach dating, we have to do that. We have to get rid of our imaginary place because we're in a virtual society, and a lot of times there's FaceTime, there's all sorts of Google Duo, there's all sorts of different things that that we're seeing one another, and people are have a tendency to use their imagination about that person. Oh, she looks nice. Oh, she's sexy. Oh, she's or he's so fine, or oh, he seems like he's a really good person. I kind of like that about him. But you don't haven't really taken the time to know that person and to really just allow them to say who they really are. And I think that's just very, very important.
Now you used the power word there, and it's so appropriate for our conversation. You said people don't get take the time to get to know. Well,
Mhm.
that word no really is a word of the word no is a word of intimacy.
Yes.
That's why when you break down that saying when it says it is the truth that you know that has the ability to make you free. So
Yeah.
that word know becomes a word of intimacy. Intimacy is what it's saying is it is the truth that you become intimate with, lay down with, that has the ability to allow you to be free. Even when you go even beyond that. Mary said in her own words, how can I be pregnant when I have not known a man? So she was
Yes.
saying, I
Yes.
haven't been intimate with the man.
Right.
So how can I be pregnant? Well, that word no. And I think that's so important when we talk about you have to know. You have to know. But in order to know someone else, watch this, Yolanda. In order to know someone else, you have to know thyself.
That's true. That's true. Know what your likes, your dislikes. I feel like that
Yes.
that we're showing. I'm showing a person. I'll just put me in the place. Which when I want to get to know a person, I'm showing them respect, right? I'm not trying to come off with what who I want them to be. And a lot of times we try to form a person with our likes, desires, wants, or needs, or however. But we're showing people more respect when we allow them to just be themselves. Because a lot of times, so say for instance, there's an attraction, we have an attraction with a male. And, first thing you think, well, this is going to be a relationship. I really want this to be a relationship. Maybe it's a exclusive relationship or however. And, I want that person to be my mate or however far that my may go. But we have to allow ourselves to step into a place where we exclude ourselves for that other person so that we can know and we can feel that place of intimacy, that place of bonding, that place of certainty. All of that, we need to have that. So whenever you're going into a relationship, we want to make sure that that person has the respect that they can be who they need to be or whoever they are. The fact is, it may be that this may just be a friendship. It could just be a
Yes.
friendship, and that's it. It may not be a love affair. It may not be something long term. It may not turn into a marriage or whatever like that. And so the thing to avoid all of this preconceptions and desires, of course, I have a desire. I'm a one man woman.
I love it. Say that again. Can you say that one more time? Because they need to hear
I'm
that.
a one man woman. I'll tell everyone, and I'll tell you this much: I don't like to do a whole lot of changing a partner. I don't do that. I don't. When I'm more exclusive, I should say, in my nature when it
Uh
comes
huh.
to focusing on that person to get to know that person. Because it takes time. People say it takes like, and you're the expert here. It takes a good 5 years to really truly say a person.
Well, there are stages, and that's
Sometimes
there are
three
definitely
years. I don't
yeah
know.
there are stages to that. Um, in terms of the so there's five stages of love, and one of the
Yeah.
stages that you talked about was attraction. You brought up attraction.
Hmm.
That's actually the first stage, because there has
Okay.
to be somewhat of an attraction that pulls, that will create what we call this gravitational pull. And I
Hmm.
like that. I like what we use now, again, in our modern day terminology, is called the law of attraction. The law of
Yes.
attraction is, you become what you want will come to you. So you
Mm.
become it, and it comes to you. That's the gravitational pull. That's the attraction. So there, that goes back to understanding who you are, having that relationship with you, knowing what you want. But you have to ask yourself a serious question. Are you attracted to you? Because if you're not
Yeah.
attracted to you, why would somebody else be attracted to you?
Exactly. I totally like myself. I guess I'm not sure if I'm attracted to myself, but I totally like myself for sure. Right. Right. And I think some things come with age. I feel very comfortable in my own skin. I feel like I don't need to put on any facades. And I
Yeah.
know in dating, the first thing we want to do is impress the person. We want to put our best face forward, our best behavior forward, all of those type of things. And we should, right? But the thing is that sometimes in the course of that dating, you will discover there's some things you won't like. You just
Yes.
won't like maybe about that person, what they do, how they eat, maybe they eat sloppy or whatever, or you know, I don't know. It could be anything. But we should be very
Yes.
truthful about what we like, because in the course of that dating, there's going to be some things we don't like. Maybe you go over to the person's house, they're junky. Just say, "Oh, wow, you're junky." Can I help clean the house for you? That's probably what I would do. I'd probably come over there and help clean the house.
But
But
depending on who you're dealing with, somebody could take that very personal
well,
and
they usually do.
be offended by the fact that you're asking them if you can clean. It just depends on the person. I'm not saying it's something you shouldn't do. I'm just saying it depends on who you're talking to. So that's that third stage too. So I
Mm.
gave you the first stage of attraction, but that third stage is the disappointment.
Yeah,
So
the
that's that
disappointment.
third stage of being disappointed. Disappointments come in that stage, because now you really start to open up eye openers. You get to discover, really, oh my God, it's not what I thought.
Yes,
It's not what I was going into this for.
right.
So, there are what we call disappointments. And sometimes in that disappointing or disappointment stage, you two have become exclusive. And so now
Yeah,
you're starting to say, "Oh, whoa, maybe I messed up. Maybe I jumped the gun too fast, or maybe I
right.
shot my bullets too fast, or something." So yeah, that's very true, Yolanda. In that, disappointment stage, which is that third stage of what we call these five stages of love. So that's the five stages of love, but I also teach there are layers when it comes to just flat out dating, getting to know
Mhm.
somebody,
Mhm.
because you talked about getting to know somebody. And the way that I say you should get to know somebody initially is in that meet and greet stage. That's the first stage of,
Yes.
when you want to meet, greet, you want to sit down over coffee, however, but don't be in a rush, and it becomes, you're in a haste to get this done. Take all the time you need. If you need to meet for coffee 2 3 times, however,
I agree.
do that, so you ask all the pertinent questions, you know what I'm saying, before you determine whether or not you guys even want to go out on a date.
That's right. That's right. Because nowadays it's just so risky in dating. Of course, again, like we're in this virtual society, and people have a tendency of using their imagination, about the person. A lot of times we don't know the true essence of that person. Taking the time to uh, to talk, taking the time to sit down, like you said, over coffee or whatever. I believe the first date should be in a more public environment, because if you just kind of run into to someone that is just, oh, this is not right, this is not good, then you're in a safer place to take the first exit that you can see. right? Um, people also, I want to just bring this to the attention too. The people, we view personal profiles more when it comes to trying to get to know a person. We read their profiles on social media, and it has limited information. People are only posting what they want the public to know about them, all of
Yes.
that. And so a lot of times we are disappointed because once we do meet that person and we get to talking, you discover, well, they may have I don't know, accomplished something, but it could have been in their childhood. And about now in their adulthood, you're like, well, what are you doing now? Maybe they're lazy. Back then they were doing more things. What are you doing now? And so there's so many subjects that we can talk about when it comes to that area of disappointment and taking our time to get to know a person. But taking our time to get to know a person is so essential. It really, really is. And what I found in this dating time, the the period of waiting and getting to know a person is so much longer than it used to be in times past. Now we have to filter through, like I said, we have to filter through the uh, the virtual social media attention,
Yeah.
profiles, all
Yeah.
of those type of things. And to just kind of get to know a person, it takes longer.
Okay.
Before, back in the day, we just showed up. Somebody say, "Hey, I like you. I'll see you tomorrow. Can we go out? Can we go on a date? Yeah, we can go on a date. That's wonderful. I like you. You like me. You know." And
And
it was just pretty much that easy because we were face to face and we were touching one another and we could feel one another's true essence and energy. So the time frame between back then and now is so much different. My mother and dad, they married in 6 months, but they
But
had the
but you
the
know,
face to
but you
face and the
know,
talk to talk.
one of the challenges that we face today, though, Yolanda, is, and I want to send some shout outs. We got Orlando in the house saying hello.
Hi, Yolanda.
People from our well, actually, Dr. Sophie's in Orlando, Florida, so she's saying hello. Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Sophie. Um, and those of you that are watching us by Facebook Live, we certainly appreciate you today. Some of you will hear us tonight on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte. We appreciate all of you that follow us every week on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte. Thank you for that listening audience. And then there will be others who will catch us at a later date on the Win Network as we air there as well. So, all of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We certainly appreciate it. But, one of the things, too, that is a challenge, Yolanda, is the fact that when our parents met, they didn't have all the choices that they have now either.
No,
There are much more choices. A person could cheat on their wife or on their husband now without ever leaving the confines of their home. They
that's
could go
right.
online, start a relationship with somebody who they don't even know, because the problem with relationships online, the person on the other end can become anything they want to be, even if that's not who they are.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
you buy into that thinking you're dating
Yeah.
somebody that there isn't. I got to take a commercial, and then we're going to come back right after this, Dr. Yolanda. Let's take this commercial, and we will be right back after this. So listen, if you're in Jacksonville, we got the best salon in Jacksonville. It's called Bloom Salon and Spa. It's the best salon in Jacksonville. They provide skin, hair, and nail services. This is a full service salon, and the owner there is Sama Bashidi. She is the owner, and she has 20 plus years of experience in this industry. And the beautiful thing about Sama is she will offer you a one-on-one consultation. And I'm going to give you a number to call her, even if you're not in Jacksonville. Maybe you've got some issues. She's got some products that she can send to you as well, right where you are. You can give her a call. She wants to empower women and make ladies feel super special. So listen, you can even get a facial while you're there. So give her a call today, 904-440-8908. 904-440-8908. That's the best salon in Jacksonville, and that's Bloom Salon and Spa. You can get your skin, your hair, and your nail services there. All right? So if you're in Jacksonville, give her a call. If you're not, you've got some issues with your hair, give her a call. She's more than happy to take the call. So Yolanda, I have a little
Yes.
bit. I have a little bit of time left with you, and you have been amazing. So we've been looking at these layers. We've been looking at. You don't like using old school, but we've been looking at back in the day versus nowadays.
Yes.
So back in the day versus nowadays.
Yes.
So we've been talking about that, and so we want to come back to that. Um, what are some challenges that you see as a life coach and change agent?
Well, quite a few changes. There has certainly been changes in the area of how men are approaching women now.
Mm,
Some don't necessarily take the initiative, to start out the relationship. I'm finding that now women more now than ever is stepping up to the plate to uh, open up that relationship. And so sometimes it may pose as a challenge to the male that she's being so aggressive, or she's leading. And so there's so many issues that can come along with that. And sometimes there's a challenge. So many times as a relationship just advisor, it's just to let them know, just kind of slow it down a little bit, learn to have just kind of be the lady, be more feminine about your approach. Uh, you know, that is very, very important. And allowing him to take some lead. Sometimes that is a challenge because people are ready, they're ready to have a relationship. They want that relationship. Whatever it takes, I'll just do it. If it means I have to step up to do the plate, I'll ask him.
okay.
I'll pay for the meal. People are getting very,
Uh,
very desperate. And that is proposing a challenge in relationships because we're starting to lose our roles, his role, her role. And I think that's just very important, that we identify ourselves. Now, I'm a 100% very feminine in relationship. I like the doors being
I'm
open.
loading up over here. You know, I got a question for you. I am loading up over here.
Go
I
ahead
am
and
like,
load on up, Reggie.
I am like in my seat. I'm like, listen. I have a question for you. You're very successful as an
Yes,
entrepreneur, as a woman,
yes.
independent. So
Hmm.
because you're independent, my question to you would be: would it be hard for you not to be as independent if you were in a partnership or in a relationship? Would you say your independence would rise and you wouldn't allow the man to be the man because you're so independent? Or would you understand the difference between interdependent and versus independence?
Oh, I'm the type of person, a woman that enjoys the man taking initiative, being bold, being somewhat aggressive, in his pursuit, or what he desires to do, what he wants to do. I'm the type of person, even when I was trained, just raising my children, uh, allowing that person to do what they enjoy doing, being themselves, as we started the conversation. I'm just like, yes, go right ahead. If you want to uh, pay the bills, if you want to drive the car, if you want to, uh, you know, open the door, go right ahead. That's less stuff I have to do, right? And if you want to be right, go ahead and be right, because if you end up wrong, well, it's not on me, it's on you. Just go ahead. I like when people lead out. And and
Okay.
and I think that it's very powerful and it's empowering when a person can lead, and but then they have to also know their role and know their strengths and their weaknesses. Because I was told this is from, I'm going to just say the name because he's now deceased, he's going on to be with the Lord. Dad Dad Pearson, we called him Dad Pearson, Adam Pearson. And Dad told me, he said, and they had a relationship over 50 plus years. I think it was 70 years, near 70 years of relationship of marriage. And he was saying, there's some things that the man can do and do very well, but there are some things that the woman does and does very well. And what we have to know in relationship, who does this or that well or better than the other. and then just be submissive to that, and allowing that person to do what they do well, and the other person just sit back there and just say, hey, look at my baby, look at him go, he's doing such a good job. And we have to do that, because if we could just learn to respect people, respect one another, just respect one another and what we're capable of and how well we do things, and know our strengths and weaknesses, we could be so much better in relationship. Instead of being, yes, I am a businesswoman. I'm independent. I'm an independent worker, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm independent in every single role that I play. So if I'm in a dating relationship, I'm not going to be trying to be independent in a relationship. No, there's two people in that relationship
Okay.
that has to team up, have to get along. We have to work together, right? So we share these responsibilities. And from these very successful marriages that I have wonderful friends who have very successful marriages. It's a give and take. It's a give and take sometimes, and it's okay. It doesn't take away from anything. It doesn't take away from you at all.
It is a give and take, and I certainly agree with you 100%. I think it's the difference between complimenting versus competing. We shouldn't have
Hmm.
to compete against each other, and I think that when you really have a true partner, your partner knows how to allow your weaknesses to be his strengths and vice versa.
Right.
So therefore, people never see your real weaknesses. They only see that you're strong, because even when you're weak, your partner has the ability to stand in that gap so that he strengthens you in what is considered maybe your weak area. And it's an exchange. It's a total exchange.
It's a total exchange, Reggie. I know when I married my children's father, he's passed away. He's deceased now. Um, he could cook. I couldn't cook. I
Mm.
couldn't cook. Oh no, I barely could boil water.
And you
But
from down and you a southern girl?
yes, I
You a
couldn't
southern
cook. I was always about business. I was just always about the things that I uh, enjoy doing.
you have froze on your video. I
Have
can
I
still hear you.
froze?
Yeah, keep talking. I can still hear you. For some reason, you're froze. But so we got your picture up, but
Okay.
keep talking. But whatever reason you're
All
froze,
right.
but
I
it's
see
okay. But I
something
can
that's
still hear
saying
you.
something froze.
There
Okay.
you go. There you
Am I
go.
back?
You're back.
Yes. And so, I mean, when I first got married, I was so, I just believe that back then, the woman had to do everything. She had to cook, clean. She had to please her husband. She had to make sure all the needs was met. Boy, I cried when I tried. I don't know why I tried to make a steak dinner. That was the worst thing I could have tried. That was my first meal. I'll never ever forget it. And I had mashed potatoes and green beans. And if I tell you that steak came out so hard like a rock, and I was just so looking forward to serving my husband, as a new bride. He looked at the thing. He said, "Thank you, but I can't eat it." And it was just impossible. And I cried. He said, "I tell you what, that's not important to me, Yolanda, that you can cook or not. I didn't marry you because you could cook." He told me the things that he would marry me for. And so he went in the kitchen, and it seemed like it only took him 30 minutes, and he stirred up a meal so quick, and he did very well. And so throughout our marriage, what we did, he cooked, I cleaned. I was wonderful cleaning, really good. He cooked, I cleaned. So let go of all of the things that we feel like we have to do to be perfect, to be the perfect wife, or be the perfect date, or be the perfect woman, the perfect man. Find where those strengths and weaknesses are, and like you were just saying, where one is weak, it lifts up the other,
Yes.
right? We're complementing one another, and we could have better relationships that way, without coming into that relationship thinking that you have to have a strong role, you have to be perfect with every single thing. Even with when it comes to sex. And I know I'm hopefully I can talk to you about this on your show, but I'm just saying there are some people who are better at it than the other,
Mm.
right? And
Talk
so,
about it.
okay, he said, talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead, because I can talk about stuff. I don't have, I'm not squeamish about a lot of things, but yeah. And sometimes in a relationship, and you've gone into more of the exclusiveness of the relationship, it looks like you're leading to marriage and certain things. And sometimes people do have sex before marriage. We just got to go ahead and say, I'm not giving people permission to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I like the respect of a person agreeing that, we're going to abstain ourselves until we marry. Hey, I'm 100% for that. But should there be these encounters before you get married? Sometimes we discover in that sexual relationship that, oh wow, I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at this. I mean, when I was really young, I never thought I was a good kisser. All that extra tongue kissing and all that French
Ooh.
stuff, I was like, forget all that, man. I don't even know how to do that very well. I was just like, peck and go, right? But it takes some time to get to slow it down. That's not a deal breaker. I just want to tell people, no, that's not a deal breaker. Let's just slow it down. Let's teach one another. Let's build our own secret garden. It's very important that we learn to work with one another. So say, for instance, I couldn't cook. Should that have been a deal breaker because I couldn't cook? No, I could learn how to cook. Now I'm a wonderful cook. Matter of fact, in my family, I'm one of the best cooks, right? So, and it took him teaching me how to cook. And I think that we're just stirring this thing up in such a stewed pot and making dating so complicated that, we don't know. We're just, everything's a deal breaker. We're quitting. We're running. Stop running away so
It takes
quickly.
some time.
Work it out. Learn through each other. Grow with each other. It takes time. Like you
It
said,
does
it
take.
takes time. And both people have to be willing to put the work in.
I want to close this segment out with you by saying, you use the word that other people look for perfection. Um, I want to close this segment out with you by saying this, that infatuation is when you find someone absolutely perfect. But love, true love, is when you realize they're not perfect and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I like that.
You realize they're not perfect and it doesn't matter. But that's true love, and you have to determine or decipher if that person that's in your life that is not perfect is somebody that you feel that you can be in a relationship for long term, and there's can be true love, because at the end of the day it still revolves around what's a fit for you, what's not a fit for you, and you got to know what is a fit for you, your piece to your puzzle. Dr. Yolanda, you've been awesome. Let me ask you, how can people find you? Tell people where you are, how they can find you. I think I'm seeing behind you, if there's a book on your shelf that looks like it has your cover on there, how can people
Yeah.
find you? Tell people what you got going on.
Well, you know what? You can Google Dr. Yolanda Gamble, and everything on social media will come up: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, my YouTube channel. Just go to Dr. Yolanda Gamble, Google it, and it'll come right up. I certainly would look forward to hearing from those of you that are listeners, and to just give even some feedback as to how well this broadcast has helped you, and some of the things that I've said, and some things that certainly Regi is an expert in so many of these things. And people, they need answers. They have a lot of questions when it comes to relationship, and there's just too much frustration when it comes to dating and all of those things. And what we have to do is slow it down. And sometimes you're just not ready. Everybody single is not available. You're only available when you want to be. And sometimes you just slow it down. If you're just from one person to the next person, if you're doing this online type thing, and just slow it down a little bit. Sometimes you don't need to jump back into the next person. Just give yourself time to reset, regroup, and rethink who you are, what you want, and what you desire, and then jump back into it with a nice, clean, clear head. It's very, very important to do that.
She
So
said,
just Google Dr. Yolanda Gamble.
and I also have your link up there too, assureministry.com. Right?
Yes, yourministry.com is my website.
www.sureministry.com. You guys can find her there. She said, rethink, regroup, slow it down. And we talked about back in the day and the new day. I'm going to give you the new day version of what she said. Stop, drop, shut it down, and reopen up shop. That's the new day version of what she said.
You have to teach me that one.
Rest in peace, DMX. That's a DMX song. Okay. Stop, drop, shut it down, and reopen up shop. Hey, Dr. Gamble, thank you so much. I want to go to my sponsorship. Some of you are ask, how can you be a sponsorship? Hey, here's a sponsorship.
Hello. Thank you for watching and being a friend to Regi's Recess. We're on a mission. Our goal is to empower 1 million women. It costs a great deal of money to keep this mission moving forward. We have created a wonderful opportunity for our viewers and friends to align themselves with us so that we can achieve this goal. Please consider making a conscious decision to be a supporter and sponsor. We have 3 levels. Silver at $100. You'll receive a C. Regi Rogers signature one-man woman t-shirt. Gold at $250. You'll receive a C. Regi Rogers signature one-man woman t-shirt and baseball hat. Platinum at $500. You'll receive a one-man woman baseball hat, t-shirt, a C. Regi Rogers book and workbook entitled Love at First Spirit. For your gift to the show and C. Regi Rogers' #1 relationship coach, you get a piece of the One Man Woman Tour memorabilia. Go to www.cregirogers.com, click on the link Sponsorship or Cash App, $CLOYDRODGERS. If you like our merchandise, you can actually order your t-shirts, hats, and books. Go to www.onemanwoman.com.
Hey, please consider being a sponsor. You saw there are 3 levels there, so take the time, consider, so we can keep doing what we're doing. We appreciate all of you that are a part of this. Watch us on a weekly basis. If you just want to get merchandise, please do that. We're so appreciative. And again, we thank all of you that are watching us by Facebook Live. We're on every Wednesday at 12 noon, Facebook Live. Those of you that are listening to us tonight on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte. We're on every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time there in Charlotte. And some of you will catch this at a later date. Maybe you haven't taken the opportunity yet to download the WIN Network. Please take the opportunity, download the WIN Network simply by going to the WIN Network, WINNETWORK, winnetwork.com. I am so appreciative to be a part of the WIN Network Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. This is a travel week for me. I will be traveling. Those of you in the Phoenix market, we will be in the Phoenix market this weekend. I will be there on Sunday doing a live show there on Sunday on the WIN Network. Okay, so if you're in the Phoenix market, tune in onto the WIN Network on this Sunday. I think the show is 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time there in the Phoenix market. Again, I want to thank my guest who was on today, Dr. Yolanda Gamble. Such a natural conversation, very easy to flow with, and I certainly appreciate her taking time out of her busy schedule to share with Regi's Recess. She said she is a one, listen, I caught it. She said, I am a one-man woman. Well, we got to get her in one of those one-man woman t-shirts. We got to get her one of the one-man woman t-shirts. She's emphatically said, I'm a one-man woman. So she's got to add that t-shirt to her arsenal so everybody knows she's a one-man woman. I got to give a shout out to my super producer, none other than Steven Sebo. This is another action shot production. Steve takes the time to make us look good, to make us sound good. And if you're in the market and you need a video done, go to connoisseur.com. That's www.connoisseurentertainment.com. Look up Connoisseur Entertainment Action Shot Productions. If you're looking to have a video done, looking to have a movie shot, looking to have a documentary made, or looking to have a commercial done, look up Connoisseur Entertainment Action Shot Productions. Steven Sebo is your guy. He is excellent at what he does. I've got to close this show out, but as always, it's always a lot of fun to share with you. It's always a lot of fun to be with you. And every week I look forward to hanging out, being with you, and I hope you look forward to us bringing you Regi's Recess. We are also now on YouTube. I always forget to our YouTube audience. We're on YouTube now as well. So we are enlarging our territory. We are increasing our boundaries geographically so we want to come into your home so we can get you every way. So we're on YouTube as well. If you like our show, tell everybody to join in to Regi's Recess. So I've got to close this. And I want to close this by saying dating is a stage of romantic relationships whereby two people meet socially with the aim of each assessing the other's suitability as a prospective partner in a future intimate relationship. That's so deep because I hope this month's series has helped you to learn if you and your present partner or future partner, someone who may be a potential candidate. I hope this series has helped you to get an understanding so that you can either be destined for a lifetime commitment or it's just not going to work. There is a dating process that has the potential to bring flowers. Dr. Yolanda's talked about old school back in the day. I remember my dad would bring my mom home flowers, and that always brought a smile to her face. While the term dating has many meanings, the most common refers to a trial period in which two people explore whether to take the relationship further towards a more permanent relationship. So there is a dating process. Next week will be the end of the month. Of course, we're going to do our Dr. Sophie Speaks segment next week. We're going to see if we can make sense of all the guests that we've had. She's going to mix it up, pour a little bit in of this, a little bit in of that. We're going to stir it up and see what she comes up with in our Dr. Sophie Speaks segment next week. So you don't want to miss next week. We're going to end the month with the dating process, Mayflowers. Thank you for joining me today. You guys have a great rest of the week, a great remainder of the rest of the week, and a great rest of the day. Be back next week. Bye-bye.